Gavin, thanks for joining us. It's awesome to have you here. I've been speaking to you for a bit over the past few weeks, I guess, and you were recently just featured on the latest Splinterlands AMA. Thank you very much for the shout out, by the way, that you gave me. I appreciate that. But for the folks who were unable to catch that AMA, could you tell me a little bit about what Earnkeeper is all about and what you guys are trying to achieve here?
Yeah. So I hadn't actually cleared any shout outs with the guys at Splinterlands, so I'm glad they're okay with it. But of course, I definitely wanted to mention the guys who have been so helpful in this process, yourself included. So thank you very much for that.
No worries.
And yeah, over to the platform, over to Earnkeeper and what we're all about. So Earnkeeper is an open source platform for game analytics and tooling. So what does that mean? What does that mean for you as the user? What we're trying to do is we're trying to provide a central community, a central place where both developers and gamers can meet to lift up the hood of games, to provide simple, easy, intuitive, slick, responsive access to this data that is so complex behind the scenes of these games. There has been a lot of, especially in the Splinterlands community, there's been a lot of talk about botting recently. And one of the goals there is, these bots get access to the data, so why shouldn't you?
Yep.
A bot is a computer program. It finds it very easy to read the blockchain or read an API and then make decisions off that.
Mm-hmm.
But for you as a user to try and look at that blockchain or that API, it's very difficult.
Yep.
And so we want to provide the simplest interface that we can on top of that, provide at least what you can get on splinterlands.com, and then add some useful stuff on top of that. In particular, for Splinterlands, something that we find very useful and a lot of our users have found useful is keeping our own database of battles, reading the previous history of battles that people have been playing, and then sorting that data into appropriate places in the marketplace, in a battle planner, in other players' collections. Things like when you look at the market, it's super useful to know how popular is this card? How often is it being used? And when it is being used, what's the win rate on that card? How successful is it?
Mm-hmm. So putting the power back into the people's hands, essentially.
That's it. Well, look, I think the power is already in the people's hands, but it's just making you even more powerful. Humans are very, very, very good at taking information and making decisions based on that information. They're better than bots.
Yep.
If you give a human and a bot the same amount of information, the human will always win.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble only comes when the bot has more information than you do. So yeah, and it's trying to funnel down all of that information into useful numbers. Now there's some tricks to getting useful numbers. I play Splinterlands, so I know what I want to see. But I'm not as good as most people in Splinterlands. There's probably a lot of people better at the game than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyone who makes a tool, gold standard for them is user feedback. They want to know what people are using tools for, or if they're not using tools, what kind of information would they love to have. And one of the goals of Earnkeeper is, okay, make it easy to get that feedback, first of all. And when that feedback is received, make it quick to implement, to act on that feedback. So we've got two approaches to that at the moment, and we'll try and increase those approaches. So the number one approach, of course, is that we have, fortunately, and I'm very lucky, we have a funded team. We have investors behind us who are gamers. They love the idea. They love what we're doing. And so we have a funded team of currently 2 full-time developers, about to be 3 in the beginning of May.
Yep.
We also have a full-time marketer who's spending his days reaching out to the community, getting information, funneling it down to the developers. So we can react quite quickly in-house. Mm-hmm. Our KPI for the platform is a new feature every day, which we so far made, and we're still every weekday, I'll say, because some people need weekends. And we're still doing that. We haven't missed a day yet since we started that, and we're going to continue to do that. Those releases are on our second approach to this, which is our alpha site. So we have our main site, Earnkeeper.io, and we have what we call our alpha site, where we release to daily and get feedback immediately.
Awesome.
So we can't obviously we can't promise that that alpha site is going to be the most stable thing in the world, but you will get very, very quick turnaround on feedback to that site.
Great.
And all of those changes that we're making are all out in the open. They're open source. All of the code we write, you can read yourself. Now, I definitely don't expect all of our users to be developers, of course. But if you are a developer, or you know a developer, or you've got enough experience that you could just look at little bits of code, everything we do is out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
So we can also get feedback on the nitty-gritty of, for example, how are we getting the battles? We'll get feedback from our site, which is great in terms of features. But if there's a better way to get our battles, we also open ourselves up to that by making all of our code open source.
Brilliant. And so
yeah,
are you looking out there for developers at the moment, and can they get in touch with you to help build upon the platform? Is that what you're trying to do? And also, what are their incentives for doing so?
100%. We 100% would love developers to get in touch. Any level of developer. If you're a hobby developer, if you're a professional developer, we would love to talk to you and see how we can help you get onboarded onto the platform. In terms of incentive, so we offer a freemium model to our users.
Mm-hmm.
Nearly everything is free.
Awesome. That's what we like to hear.
If you want, yeah. If you want to get rid of the ads, we have ads at the top of every page. And if you want to get access to, for example, in Splinterlands, this will change per game. We obviously are not only supporting Splinterlands, we're supporting any game. If you want to get access to more data, in the case of Splinterlands, this is battle data, how far back we go to check battles, you can pay a premium subscription as well.
Right.
And you'll get premium support on our Discord as well. If you're a premium subscriber, we have a special premium channel where you get direct access to the devs.
Brilliant. So you guys have a Discord channel as well. So I'll make sure that that's for everyone who's watching the video. If you want to check out that the Discord there, you'll find that in the video description. But yes, so go ahead there, Gavin.
Earnkeeper.io will be your central landing place. We have our Discord and Twitter links at the top left. If you do want to get onto our Discord, yeah, just remember Earnkeeper.io. And so yeah, we have this premium support channel. But having said that, you don't need to be premium to talk to us. If you're on the channel and you ask, you have a very solid piece of feedback that you've thought about and you write it really well and put a screenshot in with an arrow, we will immediately respond to that and say thank you very much. If you're an Uber nerd and you just want to talk nerd, there are a lot of nerds on that channel, myself included. So very happy to do that. We just this premium channel is just there so that you can get some assurance that, okay, I'm paying you guys some money and I have this problem. Can you talk to me? So we can guarantee that's going to happen because we have a dedicated channel for it.
Awesome.
And so those subscriptions, what do we do with them? Why do we have a premium model? That premium model there obviously is to continue to fund our team to be able to do this full time. For our marketer to go out there and get access to new games, do things like be on Splinterlands town halls, which is amazing. And also to pay the developers. If you are a third-party developer and you contribute to our site and your contribution is popular, you will be paid out of those subscriptions. We do pro rata payments out of our subscriptions to the third-party developers based on how many views your plugin gets.
Brilliant.
We could talk more about the plugins, but that's a little bit more in depth. But yeah, as a developer, the summary of that is you can add to the site without even having to get our permission to do so. We've created a platform where you can add your code to the site. We maintain a marketplace of plugins, and users can decide which ones they want to enable or disable. Very similar to how you mod a game.
Okay, now my question about that is, I know in this current climate, there's scams galore, and I know that Earnkeeper's not going down that route at all, but people are very skeptical about installing things on their computers or, activating plugins and all that kind of stuff. Are you trying to stay away from that, with the content that other people perhaps are contributing to the website?
So yeah, there's some layers of security there. So first of all, you don't need to download anything. So there's no download. Unless you want to subscribe, we have no reason to connect to your wallet. So there's absolutely no reason to connect to your wallet.
Yep.
These the people who write plugins are not able to connect to your wallet. There's no way for them to tell the site to connect to your wallet. So there's no possibility of that happening. The plugins that are not developed by us are not enabled by default. So you can enable or disable them if you want to do so. The marketplace includes the number of views that this plugin has had. So you can judge based on popularity, how safe this plugin is. And even if all else fails, I'm not saying it's impossible for a plugin developer to mess something up, but that mess up is limited completely to your page won't look right. Something will be wrong with what you're viewing. It's all read only. There's no access to a wallet. There's no write actions that are being taking place. It's all read only from the API or from the blockchain. And if that happens, you can just disable the plugin and know that, okay, he's got problems with this plugin at the moment. I might come back to it later.
Okay, brilliant. And you mentioned I work specifically with Splinterlands content. However, there's others out there who play different play-to-earn games. You mentioned previously that you're planning on implementing different P2E games as well. Do you want to expand on that a little?
Yeah, absolutely right. So this Earnkeeper has been created as a platform for any game. We have started with Splinterlands only because of the amount of support in the community. It was kind of a no-brainer for us to do that. Super supportive community, very healthy game, has been going for years, so a good place to invest our time to do our first plugin. We've already started on our second plugin, which is available on our alpha site, which is for Gods Unchained. And with our third developer starting in May, our KPI there will now be a new game supported every week. So we'll put a new game on the platform every week starting in May.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and we've got a platform behind. We spent a lot of time writing the platform behind this. We have an SDK, which helps speed up the development process. So we spent a lot of time making it quick to get these games on board. And then May is going to be our big test of that. We're going to set an aggressive KPI of 1 a week. But I'm sure we're going to be able to hit that. We set an aggressive API of 1 feature a day, and we're hitting that so far. Again, because we're so blessed to have full-time developers.
That's amazing. And so, why Splinterlands? Why did you think that Splinterlands is probably one of the best ones to first introduce on the website?
So there's a couple of reasons. So card games, I think, are well suited to tooling. I think that just the nature of the game is complex enough to warrant tooling. It's the kind of game where you do need to keep a lot of stuff in working memory. You need to keep a lot of stuff in your head. And so it's well suited to have a tool that helps you with that. You're still making the decisions, but you're just offloading some of that computational power to a tool. So that helps. A funny reason is that one of our investors really loves Splinterlands. So he was very keen for us to start with Splinterlands.
Nice.
But of course, I think the main reason is we were looking at several games in the beginning using that same criteria. But as soon as we got into the Splinterlands community, the support came thick and fast. So, the other games we're still getting support for those, don't get me wrong, but Splinterlands was the clear winner there. And so here we are with Splinterlands coming out first.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I did speak to you previously about that. You mentioned that you spoke to a few other gaming developers and the difference and contrast between Splinterlands and the other ones that you spoke to was night and day, and that Ags and everyone was so very welcoming to you, which that's just a testament again to the developers of Splinterlands and what they're doing for these additions to allow these additions to come through.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very cool community. The developer community is very cool too. So a cool story about one of the pages that we have on that Splinterlands plugin. That battle planner page actually came from a third-party developer that we found in the Splinterlands Discord. Super nice guy. Not enough programming experience to be able to make something that he could host that would be responsive and mobile ready. That he had 600 megabytes of battle data. That would cost him quite a lot of money to host somewhere.
Yeah.
So he had all these limitations limitations in his way. And so he solved that by having people download his tool and run it on their computer, and then download the 600 megabyte file. And it worked, and it was great data, but of course he's got this huge barrier to entry for users.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to download something, you've got to know how to do that, you've got to trust the stuff that you're downloading.
Yeah.
So you had all of these barriers. And so we brought him on board, and we've ported his code into Earnkeeper. And we're working with him to support the plugin going forward, so he gets the share of the revenue for that part of the plugin.
Oh, great.
And made it mobile ready, put it on a website, made it safe, made it easy to access. But the calculations and the data that you get has come from him. You know, it's not we didn't come up with the original idea, and we didn't implement the algorithms that, you know, match teams together and that kind of stuff.
That's brilliant.
So super cool.
You know, people who perhaps don't have the greatest experience in porting that data, you know, or developers who have got an idea and have some data, they can come to you guys and get help with it in turning it into a reality.
100%. And now's the time to do it. It's still early days for us. We have our full-time developers on board. We've only got a few plugins, but very soon we're going to have a lot of plugins, and we're going to be quite busy. But in this stage, I mean, we're 100% at the place where if you're a developer and you want to get onto the platform and you need some help, like hours of help to do it, we're here and we can help. You know, we can jump on a call. We can straight port your code. If you have some code running already, we don't mind porting it, handing it over to you, doing a bit of training, and then from there you can support it. You know, we're very happy to do that right now.
That's brilliant. And so these developers will get in touch with you via Discord as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, jump on our Discord. We have a dev talk channel. Even if you don't fit into that category I just described, we have a dev talk channel. I'm posting on there almost every day of what I'm doing, you know, my updates to GitHub, so you can follow along, learn a little bit, talk tech, talk nerd. Yeah, definitely jump onto our Discord, and that's the place to get hold of us.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the website, and you can take us through so that the viewers can get an understanding of the platform and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Righty. Okay, so I've hit the earnkeeper.io webpage here. Now, do you want to direct me into how I can start getting analytics for things, or?
Absolutely. So we're looking at our production site at the moment. So very simple front page. Go ahead and click on that middle tile there, which will take you to our list of games and tools.
Brilliant.
Here we go. So we've got our one plugin on our production site. Our alpha site has two at the moment. Yeah, we're on production here. So go ahead and click open on that tool.
Yep.
Okay, so all of this has been developed in-house by the Earnkeeper team, so it's installed by default, or enabled by default. So you can just go ahead and click open. And we start at the marketplace page. So this is obviously the same data that you're seeing on splinterlands.com or Peak Monsters or wherever you go currently to browse the market. And what we're attempting to do here is make it very easy to add more information to the screen. So the perfect example is the information that we already have at hand, which is battles. So if you have a look at your list of cards, in the middle of those columns there, you'll see battles and win. So your Peliport Deceiver has 40 battles in our database with a win rate of 47%. You can order by those. You can click the column headers, so you can order by battles to get an idea of popularity. You can order by win rate. There, of course, will be some empty win rates, and those are cards that we don't have battles for yet.
Okay.
There we go. You'll often see some 100% win rates, and that's usually an indication that we don't have enough battle data there yet for a good reading. Like you can see, we got two battles. I don't think there's a card in the game that can guarantee you a 100% win rate.
Now, is this going from? Sorry to interject there. Is this going from every single card that's been played, or is this specifically my own cards?
This is the marketplace. So these are cards for sale.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are cards currently on the market.
Yep. Okay, and where are you scraping the data from it, and how often is it scraped?
Yeah, so this is something we are continually improving. It's being scraped from the Splinterlands API.
Yep.
Now, for those not familiar with these terms, Splinterlands maintains its own database of battles. Splinterlands has got to the place where it has so many battles per day that it can't actually keep all of them on the blockchain. And so in order to get this battle data, you need to call a server at Splinterlands and ask for some battles. So that's what we're doing.
Yep.
There are two ways to do that. The first way is that you'll ask Splinterlands, okay, give me all of the battles in the last, whatever it is, hour or so.
Yep.
Their API is currently not returning all battles. I think most probably because of performance reasons. Their stats say that they do 3 million battles a day. And if it is 3 million battles a day, that's very difficult to share with other people. We're now talking gigabytes and gigabytes of data every hour. So that's one way, which gets us some battle data. And the second way we're doing it is we're choosing players. We choose in-game names and we grab their battle history.
Okay.
You can fetch the last 50 battles for a player. So every hour we're running through that list and we're grabbing the data for those players.
Now, will you do that specifically with the top, for instance, Splinterboard does? Are you choosing the top players in their respective leagues and pulling the data from those players as well, or from specific players that have been entered?
Currently, we're just doing the leaderboards.
Yep.
So the top 100 players from each league, we're pulling all of their data. And we're investigating other ways to get useful player names to be following.
Right.
If we'll get to it in a moment, but if you have a look at our alpha site, just yesterday, because I'm working on this currently on how we can get more battle data, I've put up a statistics page that shows how much battle data we have per league, per mana cap, and over time. So you can actually see how full our database is. Yep,
and you can see when that data has been scraped. Does it show as well, like, in the last hour or in the last day or something like that as well?
Yeah, it doesn't show when it was fetched. I had thought about adding that, and it is something I can add. Our graph that's by time is the time of the actual battle. So it's kind of showing what time periods we have battle data for.
Brilliant. Now, my next question is, can I put in any user's name, for instance, to search for my own and look at the cards that I'm using that have the best win rate?
Sure. So, obviously, this is limited to only cards that are for sale. If you head to the top of the page and just mouse over Splinterlands. Yeah, we've got some extra pages there. One of those is card collection, so you can go into that card collection there. Okay, great. You'll get an empty page to start with, but you can put your player name in. Cool. There we go. This is now calling the API in the background, fetching your list of cards, and then it's going to display them here, as we see. And so what we have on the page currently is market value. We don't have the number of battles or wins, but that will be coming very soon, because another thing that is on alpha that we've just implemented is once you put your player name in, we're going to remember you, and we're going to continually fetch your battle data as well.
Right.
That allows you to get a battle history that's more than 50, like you can get on the Splinterlands site. And of course, it helps beef up the total battle data.
Yep.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll make the wins and battles column in this make more sense. When we first put it in, we were getting very few battles. But now we're going to get more battle data. We're definitely going to put it in there.
Awesome. Marketplace. So this could be useful, I guess, to players who are looking to purchase new cards for their decks and could potentially think, okay, well, let's find some above, 60% or something like that win rate. And I saw down the bottom here, you can also change the price. So potentially if, we've got some players who don't have, an endless wallet of money to spend, they can change this to less than $10 per card, and then look for some different cards which are having great win percentages. I like this a lot.
Yeah. So something I like to do in here, if you scroll down, what I like to do is first filter by number of battles. So go down below price.
Yep.
And you see battles there. So just click greater than 10.
Yep.
Yeah, that's him. And then price, cool, under 10 or under 100 or whatever your budget is. Yep. And then head back up to the top and then sort by win rate. So now you're saying...
And then sort by... So is that automatically updated? Do I need to click this update button?
That update button, you don't, and I'll explain why.
Yep.
That update button will grab all of the data and put it inside your browser.
Right.
From there, all of the filtering is done on your own computer. It's done immediately. Doesn't need a call to the back
Brilliant.
end.
Okay, so then I'll click the win rate, and it looks like Lava Spider's doing pretty well.
Yeah. So then I'll kind of browse. I'll start browsing through. I think max minning and doing stuff like 70% is better than 66, so I'll go for that. I don't think that's a great approach, but it does give you a good indication that, okay, this is popular, and it also has a win rate over 50%.
Great.
So it's at least better than a 50-50 chance.
Right. Guys, this can also help you with perhaps tournaments that you're entering in. You could find a list of cards that are potentially doing really well. If it's, for instance, a modern tournament, we could take all these editions off and just put Chaos, Dice, and Untamed, and then we could look at the win rates of these cards and how they're doing with all these editions selected. And this could potentially be a good way of understanding some cards that you could play in upcoming tournaments if you're playing a modern tournament or something like that, or a specific edition that's allowed in that tournament, and then you could choose that edition as well. Is there any other cool little ways that we can show hypotheticals of how people can win from this?
Yeah, 100%. So the other thing that I like, if you just click on one of those market entries.
Yep.
Okay, and that'll pop up a modal here. So this is just kind of the same information represented in a modal, but click on View Battles. There we go. This will show you those battles, that battle count that you saw in the page.
Yep.
This shows you those actual battles.
Oh, brilliant.
So you can kind of get a feel for how is it winning? What is it winning against?
Now, can I click on these and go, and will it take me straight to the battle that's being played?
100% on alpha.
Okay,
as soon as alpha comes over to production,
yep,
that functionality is already available over on alpha.
That's great. So you can actually see how the lineup is being used, or how that card is being used in the lineup, and how you could profit from that. What summoners are being used with those lineups, and how they position that creature.
Yeah, I'll just say on the screen, so it shows you the league name there as well. So back on the market page, at the top, so this is actually, it opens a new tab when you do this, so you can actually just close this tab if you want to go back to the market.
Oh, okay, brilliant.
And there we go. And now if you close that pop-up, you'll see at the top of the screen there's a league drop down. So this number of battles and the battles you were seeing were for all leagues. So if you wanted to dive down into a particular league, you can do that as well. You'll set that filter. It'll only show you the number of battles and win rate in a particular league. And actually, this is not a bad time to just jump over to the alpha site.
Yep.
To just very quickly show this in graphs, which is great. Go to your URL as it is on this page, and just add alpha dot to the front of it. So alpha dot Earnkeeper. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Anyone can use the alpha platform as well?
100%. It is exactly, your access to this is exactly the same as your access to earnkeeper.io. We just separate the two so that we can move fast and break things on alpha.
No worries.
Yeah. So head to the top of your page again.
Yep.
And go to the menu, and you should see a DB stats right to the top of the menu there. Yeah. Yep. Click on DB stats. Okay. Now you see it's spinning. It's just updating. Okay, great. And now you can see, cool, we've got 870,000 battles on alpha, so we're improving. The oldest battle is a month ago. The latest battle is 6 minutes ago. And you can see that massive discrepancy.
Yeah, with
Bronze 3 just has huge. Loads of battles.
Right.
Yeah, and so if you just mouse over one of those, and it illustrates the other thing that I was talking about. Yeah, that little slither down there. Look at that little guy.
In the champion too.
So that, you see how it says from player history?
Yep.
That means we got those from a leaderboard.
Okay, so that's all the matches that have been played for the people in the leaderboard.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep.
And a little bit further down, you can see battles by timestamp. So again, the blue, we're getting much more data at the moment from the API that gives us the battles for the last hour. And we're starting to get more battle data for the leaderboard guys, for individual usernames. Yeah. And then you can see by mana cap, we also have a problem there above 30. And I'm not actually sure why yet, but we are working on that. So up to 30, we're pretty well covered.
Do you think that's the case of the algorithm actually sets more battles between 12 and 30?
I think that you'll notice that the blue color here completely dominates these charts. So
Right.
I think it's down to that API we're calling at Splinterlands. They probably have some kind of filter on what they give to us because they don't give us the full data set.
I see.
There's probably something to do with, what they're limiting that to.
Right. Okay then. Alrighty. Okay, so I see a number of other features here. Do you want to take us through some of these other ones here, Gavin?
Yeah. So this is the site we deploy to daily. So we got
Yep.
some stuff on here that's not on production. So yeah, just mouse over that menu and I'll find an interesting one for you. Let's go to the battle planner again.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
So this battle planner is where you go to where you can say, okay, I'm about to play my match in bronze 3 at mana cap, say mana cap 24. Let's choose bronze 3 because I know there's lots of data for that.
Yep.
And then click save. Okay, and then that's going to make a request back to our server, and it's going to crawl its way through the 2 gigabytes of data and match teams together. And now instead of a win rate for a card, it's going to find all the different kind of combinations for teams and then show you that number of battles and win rate for those teams.
Oh, for specific teams. So a set of cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh wow. Okay, that's brilliant. And then possibly these
Yep.
players could rent out these cards, or the ones that are in the lineup that are winning the most matches.
Yeah, so rentals we are working on rentals as well. So currently we just have purchase prices, but you'll see the cost there. So what we're doing is you haven't put a player name in, which is fine. There's no problem with that. So it's giving you the total cost of that team. If you were
Okay.
to put your player name in, it'll subtract the cards you already have. And so
Oh,
you
okay,
could do
brilliant.
something like, okay, every entry here that has a cost of 0, I know I already own that team and I could play it straight away. But
Right.
if the cost is more than 0, then I know I've got to buy some cards to build that team.
Okay. Yeah, brilliant. It would be amazing if you had the rental side as well. So the cost to rent out those
Yep.
cards, presumably that will
100%.
come at some stage as well.
Yeah,
Let's-
next week. Next the target.
Okie dokie. Okay, so what else have we got? Do you want to take me through some of these other things that we've got here? I've noticed
So-
as well, just quickly here, while we're at it here, I've noticed as well you can save teams too. So you can
Yep.
save this team, and then that will be Obsidian team, save, and then that
Yep.
will show in the saved teams area, presumably.
Yeah, exactly. Go
Okay.
there. You'll get an empty page to start with while it updates from the server, but your saved team should pop up. There we go.
Okay.
It's updating.
If you're doing some data trawling and trying to find some of these best teams and things, you can save them all there to view later on, or to perhaps purchase later on or rent later on as well.
Exactly. Like you could be, maybe you want to test all this stuff. You're playing currently. Okay, let me try that one. I'll try it against an opponent. I'll do a battle.
Yep.
You don't really want to be thinking about, okay, am I going to purchase this yet? You just want to save it. And then later, once you're finished, you'll come back and go, okay, here are the teams that I thought were interesting.
Brilliant. Okay. Do you want to go through some of these other ones here?
Yeah, sure. Let's just head back to the marketplace. That's it?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. And so we also have the ability here to star items in the marketplace. So it's a little bit like a cart. You see that little star next to
here
the
we go.
picture of the yeah.
Yep.
You can click on those. Okay, and that'll start building up a list of starred items. So yeah, as you go through and star them, that means you can come back and filter later at the top of your filters there to show only your starred ones. And it gives you a little bit of a summary up the top there that says, okay, here you've got one starred card, its cost is this, and its total power is this. So like
Okay,
if you're going to
so
go shopping for
I can
for
just choose the starred cards, and then
yeah, the other thing is at the top it'll show you your summary of all your starred cards. So your total starred power, total cost, and the number of cards.
oh, okay.
So you might want to go shopping for 1,000 CP, and you can just start
Just
clicking
start the
through and
cards.
watch your number at the top. Yep, and then go, okay, so I'm at kind of 500 CP now, and my cost is this.
Okay. I won't go that far up, but just to see this in action.
Yeah. There'll be a little bit of a delay between starring and the statistics at the top updating, because that is a server request that goes to the back end and then comes back.
No worries.
But yeah, we'll
Okay.
catch up like.
So then
like
we've
that.
got all the cards there, and it shows the card power, what the cost is of these cards.
Exactly. And then I think maybe just one more thing. Sorry, there are a lot of features on the site, and we're putting new features in every day. So I definitely encourage people to come and jump on the site and have a play around and give us feedback on our Discord. But the last one I'll show you is in the battle planner. because that'll also lead into some more stuff that we're adding there.
Battle pass.
So on alpha, we have a quests filter on the left that we've added to alpha. So if you're trying to,
I see. Yeah, down the rule sets.
Rule sets, and sorry, right at the top, the first filter. If you scroll back up to the top, there you see quests. So if you're trying to fulfill a quest, you can filter by only the cards that satisfy that quest, whether it's sneak or death or earth or whatever it is.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Gavin. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here. Thanks so much for doing this for our community. It's amazing that both for users and developers alike can contact you. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for Earnkeeper and the updates that you can be implementing in the future.
And man, thank you so much for all your support. Thanks for giving me some time on your YouTube. Much appreciated. And yeah, keep up the good work, man. Keep this community going. It's really great.
Thanks a lot, Gavin. I'll talk to you soon.
Cool.